Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on how big your stack of papers is. Everybody out there, my name is Kelly Ginley. I'm an English teacher at James Madison High School in Fairfax County Public Schools in Virginia. And I want to go ahead and show you guys and girls how to create a self-grading multiple choice quiz that will also send emails and explanations to students on their answers, why they got them wrong, and how they can improve upon them instantaneously. So I know that sounded like a lot. Walk with me here and it'll be really easy. First things first, the thing that facilitates this is Google Docs. So within Google Docs, I want to go ahead and create what's called a Google form. So it uses Google Forms to do this. So let's create a form. Now I'm an English teacher, but you know what? You can use this for anything you want. So let's create a quiz for, I don't know, the War of 1812. And we don't even have to call it a quiz. Let's call it an exit slip. So you just taught this great lesson and you want to make sure your kids actually got what you wanted to teach. So first things first, you need to make sure you have their email. Okay, so have the kid's email address because you have to have somewhere to send it to. Okay, make sure it's the text, make sure it's all good, make it required. Second question usually is going to be, well, their name. So let's get a last name. Make it a required question. Now, at this point, I want to add a new item. Just go up here, add item. You can add all sorts of different question types. We're going to stick with multiple choice just because that's the way you can create a self-grading quiz. So I create multiple choice. So question number one of the real quiz. Let's say, when was the War of 1812 fought? Well, let's give him the options. 1812, who figured? Maybe it was fought in 2030, it's a future war. Maybe 1999, good year and we should party like it's just that year. Or 2000. So we give them the choices, okay? Let's add a second item. I'm only going to create 2 items on this quiz because it's just an example, but you can create however many items you want. It can be a 50-question quiz, it can be 100. I'm going to go ahead and let's ask the second question. Who fought in it? Was it the Germans and Italians? Spain and France. America versus itself, or America and Britain. So we've gone through, we've got our quiz, right? It's a 2-question quiz. It's a really tough one. So now that we've created it, well, how do we get it to kids? Well, before we get to kids, let's make it pretty. So let's go to our themes. So for our themes, let's go ahead and choose something really pretty. Let's make it books, because books are beautiful. This is what the quiz is going to look like for the kids. Okay, so let's apply it. That's really nice. How do we get it to the kids? We have 3 different ways. We can go ahead and embed it. You can do that in a Blackboard site, in a wiki, in a personal website, in a Google website, whatever you want. You can embed it that way. You can email it directly to students, or you can copy this link and then put that link up on a website, email it to students, however you want to get it there. Okay, there's the link right there. So now I'm a student. I'm going to take the quiz. Let's go check it out. Okay, my email. That's my email. And we'll say key. Okay, because this is going to be the key. So I'm going to answer both these right. There we go. Because I've got to take it once to set the key. There we go. Now, I've gone and submitted it. Where's this submitted to? Here's where it starts getting cool. I want to go ahead and see my spreadsheet. Now, you can look at a summary responses to kind of look at a couple pie charts, but let's go to the spreadsheet. Now, this doesn't look that incredible first because, let's be honest, it's just this entered in. But once you have, 100, 200, however many kids answering the quiz, it happens instantaneously with timestamps, and you can look at it really quick. This is what it finally looks like. Obviously, I don't have the kids' names here, but my kids all did really well on this active and passive voice quiz I gave. And this is the self-grading part, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So now that I'm back at my quiz, let's do a couple test runs. So here's my key, right? Let's go ahead and set go to live form. Couple tests. So let's put another email. We're still going to have this, okay? And let's have this kid not be that smart. He's going to get both of them wrong. We'll submit 2 more here really quick just to show you. So I went ahead and submitted them there so you didn't have to watch it. So now we've got submissions. Okay, what do we want to, now what do we do? So we've got our key up here. What we want to do is, I'm just going to paste in this formula I already created, but let me show you what the formula actually is. It's not rocket science. I know it looks complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. You just put a conditional statement. If D3, which is right here, equals D2, then it's 1. If not, you get a 0 value. You add that to if E3 equals E2, you get 1, and if it's not, it's 0. So basically you add up the points if it equals the key. Okay, so you can just copy and paste that formula, and all you have to do then is drag it down. And it tells you, my test number 1 got 0. My test number 2 got 2 out of 2. My test number 3, they got 1 out of 2. It's really simple, really easy. It's a self-grading quiz. And again, it looks like this when you're all done. Okay, so once we've done that, how do we email the kids? Let me show you how. This is where it gets really cool. So what the kids are going to get is they're going to get an email that tells them not only their score, but it also gives them an explanation of why they got the score they got. So first things first, let's go ahead and insert an explanations row. So just write explanations. Okay, go ahead, whatever the key is, make sure it says email address. And for anything that's not a multiple choice question, put not MCQ. Okay? The reason you do that is because there's a thing called a script that goes through and finds this stuff and puts it in. So let's find my explanations. So if you don't know why the War of 1812, was fought in 1812, what do I say as a teacher? Well, I can go ahead and say something like, are you kidding me? But probably a better thing to do would be to put a link in for somewhere, or to a podcast, to a lecture. I'm going to link to Wikipedia. Please don't hate me. I'm just using it as an example. And go ahead. So now the kids got this, right? And this is what they're going to get emailed, this link here, okay? And I can do a different one for different questions. I can explain it. I might say, think back to Tuesday's lesson, if I could spell Tuesday correctly. So once I've got that in there, I'm going to go ahead and go to Tools, Script Gallery, and just go ahead and search MCQ email and click Install. So once it's installed, press Close, go ahead and click Tools, Script Editor, Triggers, you can do it right after they submit. This is when they send the email, or at a given time. I usually do it right after they submit. And then on form submit. And I save it. I authorize it. Okay. So now this is how cool this is going to be. So let's go back to our original quiz and take it one last time. Form. Go to live form, last name, Ginley's my last name. You know what, I'm not really smart, I'm not going to get either of them correct. So I go ahead and submit. Now I look at my mail, and what do you know? I've got my answers. It tells me, here's your multiple choice quiz score. I got 0 out of 2, oh man, and now I've got my 2 explanations. My answer, the good one, and then, hey, let's look at Mr. Ginley's explanation. Oh, now I remember, Wikipedia did tell me that. So that, folks, is how you create a quiz using Google Forms. You make it self-grading, and you email kids their own answers. To send me an email about any questions, you can go ahead and send it to khginley@fcps.edu. And my last name is Ginley. My first name is Kelly. Hope you have a great day, and hope that helped.